Premier League team of the season so far. So I'm going to go through the two. The two that I've seen. So the Premier League, the one on Sky Sports, which I think the users, so the fans, whatever they voted for, and Alan Shearer. I'll do the Alan Shearer one first.
Wait, I sent one in the chat. Jamie Carragher's one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I sent Carragher's one.
If someone can send, did Gary never do one? If he did,
I haven't seen Gary Neville's one.
Okay, all right. So we'll go through the three of them. Start with Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer has gone for 4-2-4. Dean Henderson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Johnny Evans, Andrew Robertson, Jordan Henderson and De Bruyne in midfield, Aubameyang wide right, Sadio Mane wide left, Sergio Aguero, and Jamie Vardy up front.
Okay.
Let me find Carragher's one. Is there a picture?
Yeah. I think it's Cara.
No, that's not it. That's Sky Sports users.
I think both of them. I sent that one second.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So Carragher's one. Dean Henderson, back four of so going with 4-3-3. Dean Henderson go back four. Trent. Back four. Gomez. What is going on? All right, so he's going Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, and Robertson. Brian, Henderson, and Grealish in the middle, and Salah, Aguero, and Mane. So he's got that seven Liverpool players out of 11. Cool. And the Premier League users, which is is it the same?
No, I don't think it was.
No. The only difference is
no.
Okay, so they've gone. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. So they've gone Henderson in goal, Trent, Maguire, Van Dijk, and Robertson at the back. De Bruyne and Jordan Henderson and Grealish in the middle. Mane, Vardy, and Aubameyang. So Mane wide right, Aubameyang wide left. All right, so we are going to make our own. First thing we have to decide, formation. What formation are we going with? 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, 3-5-2. What are we choosing?
I'd probably say 4-3-3.
Yeah, I'd probably say 4-3-3.
I think that's probably a bit fair to put in the way teams have been playing this season. The way Liverpool's been playing this season.
Yeah, I'd say 4-3-3.
All right, 1 second.
Yeah.
So 4-3-3. Is that fine? Do you want this person a bit further up or not?
That's all right. We can adjust it as we just put the player. One put the player in, you put the player in.
All right, cool. All right, so who we going in goal? Nathaniel, anyone, doesn't matter. No, when I said sorry, I didn't. I mean, anyone go first.
Oh, I thought you meant just say anyone, doesn't matter because.
Where is it go?
I'd have to go with the mass populace and just say Dean Henderson. I think he's probably the best shout. He's been immense all season, and yeah, Alisson not as good as he was last season. That is for sure. So yeah, I'd have to go Dean Henderson.
Anyone against that?
I'm not against it. I'd probably throw in Nick Pope as a shout if anyone wants to go. I think he's been good or as good as Henderson for Burnley. But yeah, either one of them, I'd probably say top two.
I got Dean Henderson as well. I don't know if Nathaniel thinks otherwise.
No, I'll back Henderson going in goal. So
All right.
yeah, he's been good.
Right back, left, and one centre back. Do they pick themselves? Trent, Robertson, and Van Dijk.
Yep.
I think so. You have to.
Yeah.
Cool. Plug them in. And I'll come to Nathaniel first. He's the other centre back.
Let me think. It's been a long time since I watched football. Do I know Premier League centre backs who played good this season? Come back to me because I actually can't think.
I mean, in terms of had Johnny Evans picked by Alan Shearer, we had Maguire picked by Doctors, we had Gomez picked by Carragher. I mean, there's obviously other options. There's the likes of Soyonku from Leicester. There's any one of, I guess, the three Sheffield United centre backs. They haven't conceded much goals this season.
Lundstrom as a centre back, yeah.
Say that again.
You counting Lundstrom as a centre back, yeah.
We'll get to Lundstrom. Don't worry about that.
Who else? The Man City. I mean, there's Fernandinho. I wouldn't put any Arsenal ones in. But, I don't know.
I would personally go with Johnny Evans. I think Evans or Soyuncu for me personally. Leicester's had another sick season, and it could have been one of them ones where without Liverpool, they could be up there, man, because Man City haven't been consistent as well. And they had a mad run, and I think at the back they've been doing quite good. I was thinking about Schmeichel as a potential option for goalkeeper because he'd be sick as well. But their whole back four has been quite good, but for the dominance of Liverpool. Gomez has been good, but I think it's easy. I think it's quite easy for him to sort of slot into that back four with it. The others three being so good, so I probably wouldn't go for him. Yeah, that's me personally. I'll probably go Johnny Evans.
I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I wouldn't go with Johnny Evans. I just want to say quickly though, Carragher, he's the reason for picking Gomez to partner Van Dijk is because he started off with he had injury problems. He was injured at the start, and you could see Liverpool were, because remember at the start of the season, Liverpool couldn't buy a clean sheet. It must have went the first 6, 7, or 8 games without keeping a clean sheet. They were struggling, and Gomez was injured, and he came back into the side and kind of resolved any holes that was in the back four, picking up clean sheets. And then he had another bout of injuries, so he missed some more games. So he's had his injury problems. He hasn't actually played, as much games as Thomas Van Dijk. And the overall reason was because Liverpool have lost one game this season, which was good, and that was because Gomez was out for the match. And because he wasn't available, they ended up losing. So he said Gomez is actually unbeaten for Liverpool, and put him as the second centre back, and that was his reasoning, which I thought was kind of ludicrous. Not only has he not played that many games, well, not that many games, but not as much as you'd like for someone that's going to be in that position, but because he's unbeaten, because he missed out on a 3-0 loss. It's ridiculous, to be fair. But yeah, I'm going to go with Leicester's Soyuncu or Soyuncu, whatever you say his name. I think he's been immense. I think he deserves the spot. And Leicester having been second and third throughout the season, I mean, a couple of players deserves to be in it. I think they've been outstanding. So for me, it's going to be Soyuncu.
Okay, I'm gonna go Maguire. Now, I guess the question that a lot of people have in their heads or the thought, he ain't worth 80 million. I agree. He's not worth 80 million. He is not an 80 million pound defender. He wasn't before Van Dijk. He's not after Van Dijk. It don't make a difference. Van Dijk or no Van Dijk, he ain't worth 80 million. But he is a good defender, and he has been good this season. But I think the perception of how good or how bad he's been is based on the expectation because of his price tag. When you look at it statistically, and I watch every Man United game 90 minutes, but if you look at it statistically, how much him and Wan-Bissaka, he's a major player as captain as well, has improved Man United's defense at a time when our defense hasn't been consistent in terms of who's playing, whether it's Brandon Williams or Luke Shaw. You've had Lindelof, you've had Bailly. Unfortunately, Jones has even played some games this season. Maguire has been a constant in that, and our defensive record speaks to that. Man United as a whole haven't been great, but for me, he has definitely been one of the highlights of our season, and his transfer to Man United for me so far has been a success. Now, whether if you might equate that as have you got 80 million pound worth out of the player? No, I guess if you buy something for 85 million, you're expecting to go from I don't know. What did we finish last season? Finished sixth last year. So you expect to go from 6th to comfortably in the top 4, like the way Van Dijk moved Liverpool from, they're not single-handedly, but moved Liverpool from 4th into title challengers, title winners, European champions. That's the kind of effect you want from a person of that amount of money. But just in terms of the performances, I think he's done very well. And as I said, the way that the amount of Man United has improved compared to last season offensively, for me, says it all. So I'm going to put Maguire there.
I think in a weird way, it kind of stemmed, the same thing you're saying, kind of stemmed into way with Leicester because of having lost Harry Maguire to Manchester United and having to sort of, I guess, force in a situation where Soyuncu comes in, which wasn't, I guess, the original plan, maybe, from the start, and to have him come in and then slot straight into their defense and see how they've grown in that shows a lot about the way Leicester have been this season and been able to cope with that, and how both of them, I guess the combination, I think, which is why I say it's difficult to choose one or the other for me. I mean, I've gone Evans because of his composure probably a bit more, but they balance each other out quite well. And I think as a pairing, as I said, their back four have been sick, having lost a massive player for their team.
So you want to go Evans and Soyuncu instead of Van Dijk?
Nah, man. I mean, Van Dijk edges it, I guess. Right.
Edges it. Emmanuel, maybe it will come down to your deciding vote, or we'll have a four-way time. We'll have to go to the public again for a vote. Who would you have partnering Van Dijk?
So, like, I listened to some of the options you guys gave, like that. So how do you say this? Soyuncu. Like I'd heard about him like prior, and I expected like him to do well, and he's been alright. But like the only time he didn't impress me was like in the Liverpool game, where I expected him to do better than he did. But then who else was there? How do you say Landstrom? Or his name is that guy.
He don't play centre back. He's FPL misnomered him as a centre back on FPL, but he plays like, I don't know, attacking midfield or something like that.
He's been getting me points in fantasy league, as a defender. Like, I thought he was a centre back.
So did FPL.
He's not played centre back this season, not once.
They've had their centre backs have been like Egan, Basham, and O'Connell.
Yeah.
And Burge.
No, Burge ain't centre back. Burge is a winger as well.
I swear I seen him been playing centre back.
No, Burge came in for Lundstrom.
But they actually put him in the right position.
Okay. That's crazy. I genuinely thought he was a centre back. Like, what's this? I was today years old when I realized. Damn. But yeah, nah. I'll pick because like I could easily say Joe Gomez. I could give a whole bunch of reasons why. Like, but yeah, I can't decide. Like, there's yeah, nah. I'm just gonna I'll just pick Gomez because like
Oh,
even Maguire, like I'm not rating him like that. Like to be picking him as centre back of the season. Like, nah, yeah.
that's a four-way tie. I'm gonna put a poll out on Twitter and we'll slot that person in. All right, defensive midfield. That was where we got. We got an anchor man. So I'm gonna go first. No, I'm not. I need to think about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Fabinho.
Well, I think.
I already got mine if you want me to say.
Oh yeah, go.
All right. Well, first of all, I'd like to say there actually really hasn't been no standout anchorman this season. There really hasn't. Kante has been piss poor of his former self. I'm not even going to think about him. Fernandinho, who's the other, has been playing centre back, so I can't put him there because he's in the centre back category now. And that just after that, it kind of just leaves everything out in the open. And I would have to give it to someone that's probably been consistent week in, week out. And for me, it's between two players, and that's between Fabinho and Ndidi. And I want to give it to Ndidi because he has actually been very, very good for Leicester. And again, Leicester is not the Leicester of their title-winning Leicester, where they had three standout players and everyone else kind of just tried to just hold it together. They had Mahrez, Vardy, and they had Kante. This Leicester team isn't like that. Yes, they've still got an outstanding goal scorer in Vardy, but other than that, Maddison is not Mahrez, Ndidi's not Kante, and so on and so forth. So it's a whole team effort, and I think there's some players that have stood out, like Soyuncu, Pereira, Vardy, and Ndidi, and I think Ndidi has been exceptional for Leicester. And Fabinho's job is made probably that little bit easier just for the fact that he plays for Liverpool, and Liverpool would probably dominate most games that they play. So there's a little less work for him to do, whereas Ndidi's got more work than Fabinho to do. And I just think that he's done his job excellently this season. So I'm going to put Ndidi in that holding midfield position.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout at all. My first thought was Fabinho, but then I was trying to think that the other options are like, there's Rodri, there's Gundogan. I don't think either of them have been great. If it was just based on 2020, for example, the calendar year, I would actually have Matic up there because I think somehow he's got back in the Man United side, turned his mind around, and he's been good since the turn of the year. When I say up there, I'll have him in discussion. I don't necessarily know if I put him in the team even then, but in the course of the season, he's only played like 12 league games, so that's not enough for me. Yeah, I might have to agree with you there. I might have to go with Ndidi. I might have to. Fabinho has been good. Don't get me wrong. He's done his job. I guess that's all you can ask for. He's done his job, but so has Ndidi done his job. Could you ask for more from him? Could you want more from a player in that position than he's given this season? I don't know. I really don't know. I guess the way that Liverpool play, Fabinho, his passing stats will be higher because he's a bit of as much as they don't have a central playmaker, he's as much as the playmaker you're going to get in the middle of the field from deep. Indeed, he's not that. It's not his role. His role is more to break up and pass it on. But I do think, playing for the Leicester side compared to the Liverpool side, it does count. I don't want to use that against Fabinho because the best players play for the best sides, isn't it? But I'm happy to go Ndidi on that one as well. Anyone?
Yeah, I don't know, really. um,
So let me just say, all the other teams, well, the two teams that had three in the middle had Henderson as the defensive midfielder.
yeah,
They all had a flat three, so he wasn't an anchor man, but they all had him as the defense, the central of the three.
yeah.
And Shearer had a two-man pivot in De Bruyne and Henderson.
I'm probably gonna, and depending on what people are gonna do in terms of positions, but I'm probably gonna put Henderson in the DM role. And it's, I know it's weird because we're talking about Fabinho, and not necessarily he's not always been in that role this season with Henderson, but I think they've been quite fluid, both of them, because I think there's been times when he's had to sit in there and just dictate the play, and break up play. And as I said, might be a case for further on forward for people that want to put him in the CM role. But I think his overall sort of distribution going across the pitch tends to start from deep. So it tends to start from on the halfway line, maybe with Ox running off or Keita running off, or even Fabinho providing sort of space for him to go. And so sometimes they've gone into like a 4-2-3-1, but with like a Fabinho and Henderson in DM, and then a CM, if that makes sense, not necessarily a cam, but a CM. So for me, if I'm looking at who I think's been the best DM, it's not necessarily been in terms of that role, in terms of the way you guys have mentioned the way Ndini's been playing, as shielding, like what I'd say the Fabinho role is, but I'd say Henderson as the playmaker role in DM, if that makes sense. The Xabi Alonso role of old, I guess.
That's black Alonso. Nathaniel.
See, I don't like how I keep getting lost because I was gonna say Fabinho.
Go on. I came to you first. I come to you first.
Say Fabinho then.
Anyway, go on.
The thing is, yeah, I was gonna say Fabinho in DM, so I could put Henderson in CM, innit? But now Ramon's saying Henderson.
You don't have to. You can still go with that. Bro.
I'm now remembering Henderson playing like them deep roles very well, and just like, but now I'm picking Fabinho, man. I'm sticking to my guns because I'm gonna put Henderson in CM.
So that's sorry, I didn't know what happened there. So that's Ndidi. Wait, what happened?
Yes, indeed.
Wait, Ramon, who did you pick again?
Sorry?
Picked Henderson.
I picked Henderson, bro.
You picked Henderson. And then those two picked it.
Okay. No, I feel like that said DM first, and then I changed to DMC. But anyway, cool. Wilfred and Ndidi. Two central midfielders. Now I'm going De Bruyne and Grealish. That's just me. Does everyone agree with De Bruyne?
Yeah, I'm picking 100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll put De Bruyne in now. And the other one, I'm going Grealish. And I know he hasn't always played from the middle, to be fair, actually. Which, I know, maybe that's a bit illegal for me to put him there. But he has played from there at times. And even if he doesn't start there in the lineup, a lot of his attacking does come down the middle. So I would put him in that role. Anyone can go.
I'm thinking, man, should that be a bit controversial? Say Bruno Fernandes. No, he's been sick though. He's been serious. But no, he only just come though, and if it was at the beginning of January, maybe. But the guy come right at the end of January, man. Come right at the end of January. Oh man, it's a tough one. I don't even think Grealish has been better than Maddison, you know. Man, someone take the spotlight, man. I need to think a bit more.
Nat, go on.
I'm thinking Henderson still. I'm picking Jordan Henderson, man.
Say again?
Like he deserves to be. Oh my. No, I'm picking Henderson. Since Klopp moved him up into centre mid, changed up the position, and he's been going forward. Like yeah, he's had an impact, and he's been doing well, like in that position. So it's only fair, man. It's only right. Team of the year, like he's probably been best player in the whole Prem. Jordan Henderson, right there.
Ramon, you're gonna pick him.
Centre mid.
I know you tried to get him in at DM and failed, so maybe you might.
Why?
Listen, I threw my shot at I threw my shot at Henderson and it failed. So you so that I guess that was my option there in CM. And I'm going to leave Carl with the decision to make. I'm going to go with Lord Lundstrom. I'm going to go with Lord Lundstrom of Sheffield United. It was a toss-up between Maddison and Lundstrom for me, and Grealish, I guess. But the formation is twisting me, man, and it's twisting my whole mindset of what to do, especially the fact that Sheffield United play with 5 at the back and 3 in the middle, and whatever, 2 up top, I don't know. But so they're all. It's hard to even put their players in because they all play a bit different to how this formation is. But I want to shout him out personally, and I know of late he wasn't starting as much because they signed Burge, but for the first half of the season especially, man was everywhere. Man, he was winning balls, he was delivering balls, creating chances, scoring crucial goals. Man of the match awards for Sheffield United. I should remember a Sheffield United team that's just come to the Premier League in the same way that Grealish has been carrying Villa. Lundstrom has done in a similar way, but not as much because there's so many other players that have been as good as him in their season. So it's not. I'm not saying it's a one-man team there, but you know, and I'm a player who, I mean, the reason why he was 4 million in fantasy football is because no one thought he was going to play games this season. You know, and he come in and he was put in the starting lineup from the manager, and countless times he's been on Match of the Day. They've been asking him how your form got so good, and he said, you know, he's working hard, and he fits the system quite well, playing the third CM in a all CM sort of team with Fleck and Norwood, and yeah, man, and I think again that position there is hard to put in. I said I put Henderson's choice in as a DM, so he could have easily gone in CM, but put him as a DM, and I can't really put Maddison there because I feel like he only fits the cam role. Like I don't even feel like, I think Grealish could put him as a CM advance, but Maddison for me has to sit. I can't see him sitting as a CM. I just don't think it works. I think he needs Tielemans and Ndidi.
Adjust it if you want, isn't it?
I don't want to adjust it, so Lundstrom is for me in there, man. And it's on to Car.
Boy, you left me with a big decision there, but I'm not going to.
We got Grealish, Lundstrom, and Henderson.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I can undoubtedly say that Lundstrom's not in the equation here for me. He's not entering my thoughts. He's a fantasy merchant because he plays in midfield, and they've mistakenly put him as a centre back, so he can get a double whammy, clean sheet, and a goal quite comfortably. So he's a fantasy merchant, and he's not good enough to be in team of the season so far. So for me, I'm ruling him out. Henderson and Grealish are both definitely in the argument. They were both in my thoughts at the beginning. But I have to. I mean, like I said, and I'm going to be doing this, I feel like, for the rest of the selection, but I have to stick to Leicester. I just think their season has been that good. I think their players, like I said, they've gelled together, they've come together, team performances week after week. You know, what was it? Like 9-0? What was it? I can't remember. It was thumping 9-0, thumping of Southampton. I mean, they've had some great games, man. And I just think Maddison has been truly, truly immense this season. He's been wonderful for Leicester. Could have done with a few more goals. He's only got 6 goals, but he could have done with maybe 3 or 4 more goals, round it up to 10. I mean, 10 would be nice by the end of the season, to be fair, there's probably like another 10 games to go. So you never know, he might reach it. But I think for what he's done so far this season, he deserves to be in there. So I'm going to go with Maddison alongside Kevin De Bruyne.
Right. So let me just prepare that poll.
What's going to get?
So we've got Grealish, Maddison, Henderson, and Lundstrom.
The Lord himself.
And the question, who's been the better midfielder this season, I guess?
I'll just say who deserves to be in team of the season so far, team of the year so far. I don't know.
Who's your partner? KDB in team of the season so far. Okay. I think I see Henderson winning that. But anyway, I'll put that out later. So at the moment, it's question mark. That you can never decide anything.
At the moment, the guy's picking people like Lord Lundstrom, like.
Oh god! All right, I want to. Let's start with the striker. I'm going Vardy.
I'm not going next. I got a very controversial.
Oh my god!
Go on, Nat.
You don't keep doing this. Can't lie, I'm backing Vardy as well. The guy's been a menace. He's been a menace, man. Scoring goals from the guy is like 100 years old and he's still scoring, bro. And he's still got that pace. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, just does what he likes to do in it. So I'll back Vardy for this one still.
For me, I got to go with Vardy too.
Oh, we're gonna go, bro. Yeah, I thought it was gonna go.
It could have been, man. It could have been. And Aubameyang has had a good season. Since Arteta's come, he's definitely been a left winger without shadow of a doubt. Not whether it's Nketiah or Lacazette playing up top, he's gone to left wing. Still scoring goals, still been good. But I think again, as Carl says, the way Leicester have been playing this season, and they went on that mad run, and Vardy's been at the head of it and got injured for a bit in January. But apart from that, he's been consistent pretty much throughout the season. Aubameyang's been sick as well, as I said. I just feel like he's got goals, but his overall performances hasn't been as good. But I guess as a striker, you need goals. So on that basis, could be either one. But yeah, I'm going with Jamie Vardy.
So just for the sake of the voting, Kyle, I mean, Vardy's already in free votes. Who would you?
Yeah, like I said, it was a toss up for me between Vardy and one other, and I'm gonna go with the one other just because I feel like at a time at the start of the season when they weren't in a good position, they weren't playing too well, this player stepped up their performances and has now kind of, I don't want to say transform the team because the team is good anyway. We know their qualities, but I feel like without his contributions, the way he digs deep and he plays so well, he's getting the goals, getting the assists, and now obviously, or the season, I don't know if the season's going to finish or not, but he left his team in a position where they could finish in top 4. And for me, I think Jimenez deserves a little shout. And for me, that's what I'm going to go with, because at the start of the season, because their season started early before anyone else, because they were playing Europa League qualifiers, so they were already playing football. Maybe started the season a little more tired, and they were down there. They were like in 16th, 17th after the first 4 or 5 games. And I don't think he had even bagged one goal yet. And he upped his performances after that, maybe after like game week 6, and he's been consistent since then. And he's dragged his team from kind of down there and left them fighting for a place for top 4 to get into Champions League football, while still fighting on Europa League front. And yeah, I feel like Jimenez deserves to be there. So that's who my pick would be, was Raul Jimenez.
All right. Now, I'm going to say we can choose. We can choose who. We choose both, left wing and right wing, or left forward and right forward. As it is. I'm going to go. Oh, it's a tough one. It is a tough one. People might think, "Oh, it's easy one." No, it's not tough. And this is the most unbiased I can be about this. Trust me. So obviously, you have to put one of the Liverpool front men there. You can't not. Like, there's no Firmino. We can see that. It would be blasphemous if there was no Salah or Mane, if not both. I think Salah's better than Mane in general. Like, people have disrespected Salah. I think they really disrespected. And this is what happens when a player reaches like the pinnacle, the top, so to speak. I know he didn't win a Ballon d'Or, but when he's at the top, people are always looking for reasons to shoot them down, especially. I mean, I say especially. Certain players get, I guess, favored. There's a likability about certain players, but it's like when you're the challenger, people like backing the challenger. But when you're at the top and people are shooting at you, they're always looking at where the faults are. And when Salah hit that 34 goal season, or whatever it was, probably more than that, I can't remember now. Everyone was looking at ways to discredit him. Oh, he's only this, he's only that, he's a tap-in, he's a poacher, he's, always looking at these different elements. And I'm like, put some respect on the man's name. And then the next season went back, got the joint golden boot, 22 goals. And this season, as much criticism or not even criticism, but people are putting others above him, the likes of Mane, this person's more important, that person's more important. The man's got 16 goals this season. So he's well on for another 20-goal league season. And apparently he ain't been that great. People have been criticizing him. So for me, he is Liverpool's. Van Dijk, you might say, yeah, he's the best player. When it comes to attacking, he is Liverpool's best player. Has he been Liverpool's best player this season? I'll argue no. The reason why I say that is because I think one thing, getting goals, and someone who scores a goal a game, so to speak, that's always respected. But big goals and big moments count. Like, you might say count double, like an away goal. So when Mane is getting like a late winner against Aston Villa, that counts more than a goal in the 30th minute against Bournemouth. Even if that goal ends up to be the winning goal, you needed someone to come up clutch in that moment. And whether it's through a goal or winning a penalty, whether he died or not, whatever, Mane has been coming up clutch this season. So I have to give him one of these spots. So Mane's in for me. And I'm going to go Marcus Rashford. And I don't know why Kyle's making shocked faces. I don't know what that's about. You've got people, Ramon's there wiping his eyes like he can't see the truth. I don't know what's going on. Listen, Marcus Rashford has been immense this season in a Man United team that has been decimated by injuries. At times, he's had to carry the torch. And we thought, and it's been, my predictions or comments at the start of the season have been brought back at times. Oh, he's not. Can he get 15 goals? Can he replace Lukaku? Blah blah blah, bleedy blee. And I thought this injury might cause his season to be cut short. And he maybe wasn't going to get a chance to get the 15 goals. As it is, things are worked in that favor, so to speak, and it looks like he may be able to come back at some point earlier this season, whenever it does resume, if it does, and continue where he left off after his unfortunate back injury after carrying Manchester United. What a coincidence, you might say. The guy got 14 goals, playing predominantly as a left forward. So I think he can fit into this team as a left forward. And he's got different types of goals. He's got striker goals, whether it's heading or tapping. He's got long range free kicks, or just long range shots, and penalties. People say, oh, well, you know, he's stat padding. He scored a lot of penalties. Well, if you actually look at it, of all the penalties he actually scored in the Premier League, he's actually won all but one of them. Now, I know he's missed 2 penalties, one against Norwich and one against Palace. Yeah, Crystal Palace, I think it was. But of all the ones that he's actually scored, he has won all but one of them. So if he wasn't going to get the goal for it, he would have been credited with the assist for it. Or even whether he's credited for it or not, it means his attacking play forced the error from the defender that resulted in the goal scoring opportunity for Man United. He has been, for me, brilliant this season among a lot of criticism and a lot of negativity, you might say, around Man United. And he's come out heads and shoulders. And there's more of the season to go. So I'm going Rashford and Mane as my 2 wide forwards. Anything you got to say from here is wrong, but you know, I'll give you opportunity to say it anyway.
But even if we said what you said is wrong, I hear that.
You can't eloquate, mate. You can't. What's the word? Something like me. You can't say it like me in it, so it's wrong. But please, nigga, I know you're not gonna say what I said, so it doesn't make a difference.
I'm not taking a spotlight after hearing that gibberish. I need a moment to digest what you just said.
I don't understand. The man has got 14. Listen,
I'm not trying to hear it, Nika.
Has got 14 goals. Of the top 10 goal scorers in the league, he has played the second least minutes. No, yeah, the second least minutes. Only Aguero has played less minutes than him. And it's over 100 plus minutes less than any other player in the top 10 goal scorers.
Okay. Ramon, sort this guy out for me, please.
All right, let me sort this guy out for you, man. Yeah, so after hearing that gibberish, just to get back to reality, and for me, there's no doubt about it. The best left wing and right wing this season comes from Liverpool. And I think I agree with Neeks before he took some drugs and started chatting rubbish. I was with you on that with the Mo Salah thing. You know, I think Mo Salah is probably Liverpool's best attacking player. Although I do think Mane has definitely stepped up to sort of coming on par with him, and he's definitely catching him. But you can't disregard what he's done in that season, Mo Salah, and I don't think Mane's got that in him to get anywhere near the 32 goals that Salah scored. But you know, Salah consistent again. He was 16 this season, 22 last year, 32 the year before. So he's you know, again coming to the league as we said before, and just hitting the ground running, and he's still doing it again this season. He's still keeping that same consistency. And then Mane, as you said, goals in vital games. I think his goals have been worth more points to Liverpool than anyone else in the Premier League. So crucial goals at crucial stages of the game to get Liverpool over the line in their season much interrupted by the coronavirus, as I'm sure we'd all remember in years to come. He's been, unplayable at some points of the season. And, you know, some would be confused as to have him as a footballer or a rapper, you know, as been touted by his own manager. But I think this season has proved that he's a much better footballer than he is in the music industry. So, yeah, Mane and Salah for me in the wings.
Kaya, I think Nathaniel's disappeared.
Oh, has he? Well, I am leaning towards what Ramon has said. I mean, I was wanting to put both Mane and Salah, but I just think there's one other player that's not really being spoken about, probably gone under the radar, mainly due to the fact that this team has had such a disastrous season and it's way below their standard. So it's just kind of just like flashing them by. But I think that this player has still been immense. They've got 7 goals and 10 assists this season. I mean, it's not as good as Mane and Salah, but it's definitely good enough to be up there. And I think because the team hasn't been at their best, his stats are lower than what they would or should be because of how poor the team was. And this team is Manchester City. They've not been that great. Same could be said for Kevin De Bruyne, but Kevin De Bruyne has been immense, but you don't expect massive numbers from a central midfielder. But you could see he's been putting in quality performances. But for someone that's been playing as a forward and is putting in quality performances and isn't actually a goal scoring forward at that, mind you, to get 7 goals and 10 assists, I think, and he's also come up with some big goals too. And this person is none other than Riyad Mahrez. And I think Mahrez has been worth, he's been worth every penny this season. When you got the likes of Aguero, Raheem Sterling been playing way below. I mean, where has Sterling been this season? Sterling, the so-called prince, has been nowhere to be seen. We've got Silva, Bernardo, that is.
Man said nowhere to be seen. He's got 4 more goals than Mahrez, bro.
No, but he hasn't been at the standard that we saw him in previous seasons. He hasn't been as good. Sterling hasn't been as good. Aguero hasn't been as good.
Mahrez hasn't been as good as we've seen in previous seasons either.
No, I think he's been better. I think he's been better. Hence why he's got more. Some may say it's because the drop in form of Sterling, why he's got more playing time, because Sterling is not performing as he should be. But the fact that he's got, was it 22 or 23 appearances out of the 28 or 29 or whatever it is, eclipses how much appearances he's been getting under Pep in previous seasons. And like I said, it could either be due to the fact that he's playing better, or Sterling just hasn't been that great, and Sane's been out injured all season, kind of opens up the doors for him. But I think he's been as good as anyone. And it's a case of, if you do put him in that Liverpool team, he matches, I think quite comfortably, he matches the output of Mane and Salah. And for me, he has to take one of the spots. So for me, I'm putting Mane as my left forward and Mahrez as my right forward.
What? Matches Salah? You're mad. You're mad. No way. No way, Kai. You can't. I'm not saying it's not the worst. I've heard shouts like Mahrez better than Salah, but as I said, people just love. I'm not even saying you're doing this in this case. But I've heard shout. Oh, Mane is the best. No, sorry, Mahrez is the best African footballer, better than Salah. This, that. I'm like, big man. Just because Salah banged 34 goals and nobody expected it, people are looking to shoot him down. How can you compare Mahrez and Salah when Mahrez ain't okay? Granted, he did it with Leicester and he got a fair amount of goals and got them and won the title. But Salah banged 34 in a season.
Yeah, Mahrez has got multiple league titles to his name, though. How many has Salah got?
Okay, Salah got Champions League to his name. How many has Mahrez got? Like, you know. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think to Mahrez is a very good footballer. Very good.
Very good. The guy's world class, man.
Could he world class?
No, he's. I think he's that gravy above world. He's like Kevin De Bruyne, Neymar. Like he's that.
Neymar.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
He's different. No. I'm telling you, he's different gravy. He's different gravy. Like this guy, right? the wavelength that he's on, like his wavelength is so over there, it's above all his teammates. Like only Kevin De Bruyne can pick up that wavelength. He just that kinetic energy, just psychic, just he's on a different path, man. He's different style, man. Than that guy.
I'm not expert in it, but if he was on this wavelength that you speak about, Pep Guardiola being such the manager he is, surely it wouldn't take injuries to Sane and dropping performances of Sterling and Bernardo for him to get on the side.
Pep's not on that wavelength either. That's why. Yeah, he's not on that wavelength, man. He's not on that wavelength. He's not there. He's not there.
So just to clarify, you're going Mahrez and who?
And Mane.
Mahrez and Mane. So we've got 3 Manes. So Mane's definitely
4.
Oh, you haven't said it.
4 Manes.
Okay, and who's your other? We got so I don't know where you went. I don't know if you heard us, but yeah, we got Rashford and Mane. We got Salah and Mane, and we got Mahrez and Mane. What's your 2?
I'm picking Salah and Mane, 100%. There's no debate, no question, no argument, no vote, no Twitter poll that's gonna change my mind. Yeah, it's Salah and Mane, and that's it. If you're saying any other names, you need to take a look in the mirror and question your sanity, mate. Like, them two have been balling season after season, doing their thing. Fam, why do you think we say excellent finish Mo Salah? Like, people need to start putting respect on that guy's name, you know. The guy's sick. And Mane as well. Both of them. Top players, man. Top players.
Disgrace. Effing disgrace. All right, so guys, that is our Premier League team of the season so far. We have Dean Henderson from Sheffield United, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson as the fullbacks, Van Dijk plus 1 other. The poll is out on Twitter. I mean, by the time you're listening to this, it may be completed, but the 4 options are Maguire, Evans, Soyuncu, and Joe Gomez. Defensive midfield, we have Wilfred Ndidi of Leicester, Kevin De Bruyne in central midfield, beside either Maddison, Grealish, Jordan Henderson, or John Lord Lundstrom from Sheffield United. What a left field choice that was. And up front,
me. Have you heard the other left field choices I've been hearing? Mahrez.
And up front, we have Salah on the right, Mane on the left, and Jamie Vardy of Leicester City, who's got some recognition for their brilliant season so far, leading the line. Guys, that is the Neeks Sports podcast team of the season so far. Hopefully we have more of the season to come in the future months.